Hello YouTube, JD here from Richview Lawn Care in Toronto. I am a solo part-time landscaper and this is my first YouTube video. So bear with me as I give an instructional video on how to do a tune-up on a Kawasaki TF22 single pole hedge trimmer. This was given to me by, or loaned to me by a family member. It hasn't run in a couple years, so I went over to my local small lawn distributor and purchased a few supplies. I had a hard time finding resources online, and that's why I'm trying to help out our fellow landscapers with the options. So here we purchased a new fuel filter, a NGK spark plug, model number BM6A, a new air filter for the hedge trimmer. That is, oh, pardon me. Sorry about that, that was the air compressor. A new primer bulb, as this one is dry and cracked, so that's the new part number here. Went ahead and I gave it a new coat of paint on the cover. And as you can tell, everything else seems like it's in pretty good order. The supplies that I used for this little project: wire brush, Phillips screwdriver, flathead, Allen wrench, adjustable wrench, a 10mm socket, and so as you can see, it was in pretty rough shape when I first got it. It actually had a nest inside. Now we're missing a very key component on this machine, which is the throttle body. However, the machine does work on the one variable speed, so we're going to try to get it back in its original condition. Parts are expensive. This machine, as I've been told, is 22 to 27 years old. Again, it's a Kawasaki TF22. So this is how it looks now, and I'm going to put it together and hopefully share this resource with other members of the YouTube channel. Okay, give me a second. So as you can see, I've removed the old spark plug. It wasn't in terrible shape, but since we're going to try to get this machine a new head start, that is the NGK BM6A. And we're going to install that in the head there. Don't over tighten. Hand tighten for now, and then go ahead and with the torque wrench. I've covered the throttle and also the carburetor to avoid getting any debris in there. And I cleaned that, got a wire brush, and I scraped everything out. I gotta put this down. So next we're gonna remove the old primer bulb from the bracket and replace it with a new flexible primer pump here, model number there. I purchased these supplies at our like I said, local landscape shop here in Toronto. Shout out to Kooybrothers. Excellent staff there. Got everything you need, and reasonable prices. So as you can see, you're gonna have to squeeze it through the bracket here, but because it's new and flexible, you won't have a problem. It does not require any gaskets, so I'm gonna have to push this through, and I'll show you how it looks once it's set up. Okay, so I've gone ahead and removed the old air filter. As you can see, it's all bent up and it's pretty rigid. And purchased a new one here. There's a part number here, genuine parts, made in Japan, 11013-2055. Also by Kawasaki. I'm going to require two hands here, and again, bear with me, this is my first video, and I wanted to get this out so I can get it started, but looks like I'm gonna have to get a mount of some sort so I can have both hands available to me. So just push that in gently, and as you can see, it's a perfect fit. Again, this the reason for my video is I had a hard time finding resources, online resources for this machine, and I imagine if there are still quite a few of these machines in operation, finding the parts is getting trickier and trickier. So hopefully this will help someone else in the future. Alright, I'm going to have to put this down again. 1 second. Okay, so using this an old wire, moving on to the fuel filter now. Bend an old wire like so. Put it in the fuel tank. Just scoop the fuel hose that's here. Make sure to pinch it so it doesn't go back in. Get your new fuel filter. I will put a link to what these part numbers are again. Smaller than the normal steel brand one. Push it in firmly. Make sure there's no debris in there. Put the cap on so no debris gets into your tank. Now moving on. Next I will apply, so we'll put some grease on the pulley cord. So we'll move gently, and there's no rough parts in here. Again, this machine hasn't been on in over 2-3 years, and being a 25+ year machine, we're going to see if we can get it fired up. Again, this is your basic tune-up on your TF22. So before I removed the spark plug coil so I can clean it up and of course paint the cover. So we're going to reapply these gently. Again, these cables are fragile, so you don't want to kink them, because I'm going to have a hard time finding the spare parts. Put them back in the original housing using the original screws. And also keep in mind I'm missing half of the screws that came with the original machine. I'm going to need 2 fingers here. Okay, so I've got the spark plug, I think it's called a condenser, in there snugly. Now I'm going to apply the cover to the top of the motor using the screws, of course. And keep in mind, so I always leave the screws behind so I don't lose them in the shop here. So I recommend you do that, because again, it's going to be hard finding the parts for these engines. I had a hard time finding these, so do yourself a favor and keep them in a safe place. Okay, the cover's on now. Again, make sure to save your screws. Hand tighten's fine. Next, we're going to install the pulley. I put some white grease on there. Made sure the cord had no tears and rips. I don't want to do this again. And again, you want to do this once. So put some grease in there as a preventative. Okay, that's on there. I'm gonna have to look for another screw as we're missing one. Again, I only got 2 with it, but if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it right. We're missing one right here. So next we're going to reapply our fuel tank. Don't forget your washers. just for the vibration aspect. You don't want to lose these. Okay, we're going to apply these to the back of the hedger. Okay, so just screw in the top two, followed by the bottom one there. Hand tighten is fine. Now reach over to the existing fuel line and put it right under the carburetor there in this spout here. It's going to go right in there. Okay guys, with the machine turned upside down, I got cleaned the covers, the front cover and the exhaust cover, and again using the screws provided. I'm gonna have to tighten that one over there, that one over there, and I'm missing this one here. Oh, I got it there, I see it. So I'm gonna have to put it on. So this is best done with the machine done upside down. And while you're at it, open up this gasket, the cover. I can't, so this machine does not have a grease insert valve. So what I did was I've opened up the cover and manually put grease in there just to keep the bearings lubed up, and you don't want these things to seize up, because then that'll be the end of the trimmer. So close that up. This one had no gasket. I'm going to call the manufacturer to see if a gasket is actually required on this model. But seeing the supplier, he had to go back to binder, as this machine is that old and it was not uploaded on their database. So, but I will do that. Again, I've filled it up with grease, lubed it up, and next is I will be sharpening the blades, and then we'll give it a try. Okay guys, I forgot a very important part, and I'm realizing this now. Prior to putting in your cover here, make sure to take your ignition wire and with needle nose pliers pull this cover down, and you're going to see the bracket where that's going to go in, right in there. So using your needle nose pliers, just play with it and it'll go right there, so it'll start. Okay, that's how it should look. The wire just tucked in behind here, and it is plugged into the receiving end of that. Okay, so again, this machine is 25 years old or more. Kawasaki TF22. We're missing a very important piece of this machine, which is a throttle cable, which goes in here, screws in here, it wraps around the handle, and then eventually there should be a throttle switch here. So this machine still works at a one specific speed, which allows you to cut the hedges, but you can't control anything else but that. It's that one speed that remains the same. So we're going to keep it at that. I did look for how much it would cost to replace these parts, and we're well over $120, $130. So at this point I don't think it's worth it to buy a whole throttle switch, as this machine, again, it's old, it does the job for our needs here. And again, we're a small time, just starting up landscaping company here in Toronto. Do this on a part-time basis. So majority of my equipment is all used. Toro 22 recycler, steel 91R, steel 74, and a steel BR 600 blower. Again, we're going to see how it goes, and hopefully much success in the future. And thanks for being patient. This is my first YouTube video. I thought it was necessary, as these mowers are, or these hedge trimmers are old, parts are becoming obsolete, and I had a hard time finding resources online, so I figured I'd help another fellow landscaper in the future, and hope you liked it. And I was patient enough describing the parts. I will post all the part model numbers on the link. I'm gonna have to figure that out, but I will do that. We are on Instagram and on Facebook, Richview Lawn Care in Toronto, and yeah, hope this was instructional. And I'm going to load up the tank with some clean 50-to-1 ratio, and we'll see if she fires up. Thanks guys, and hope in doing more videos for everybody in the near future.